right, hey folks, we're going to do some game design tonight. We got a little bit of time open for us, so give me a second here. I'm going to check my signal, make sure we're live. We're going to work on the 5e 2024 version of the Monk, converting it into color mana system for us to use alongside the color mana spell point variant rules that we created. So, checking on my signal here, that feels pretty good there. I'm just doing some quick social media updates, so give me a flash of a moment and I will, let's see, get into here, pressing buttons, bloop, bloop, there, and we're almost done. And then I'll show you where we're, the playtest document that we're working out of so that everyone can read along as we play. And just almost done with my social media posting. Tap, 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 tap. All right, so just to keep you guys updated, my name is Phil Kearney. Hey, I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, I publish them online. I've been focused on creating content for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, publishing on the DMsGuild. And we had published mana mechanics for D&D 5e back in 2018, but now that we have updated rules for 2024, we want to expand on them. We've had a release of Theros and Strixhaven since then, along with the Ravnica, Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. And we've been playtesting for the past year here the Martial Powers system, which is the same sort of breadth of options that like a half-caster, like a Paladin, Ranger, Artificer would have. But for the Barbarian, Fighter, Monk, and Rogue. So all 14, including the Scion in the playtest, we have all 14 classes using the same type of mana system to be able to be basically the core mechanic of how their character operates. Plus a lot of changes that we've made to the Ranger, like adjusting how Hunter's Mark works so it becomes a class feature not requiring concentration that scales naturally as you gain levels from level 1 to 20. So I'm updated with all my social media posting here so we can get live. So let me switch my screen here real quick so you guys can see where we're operating out of today. Here is the playtest document that we're making use of. So if you click on that, it'll pop open this document here that we're waiting to load. There we go, the Martial Powers playtest content. It's got all 14 classes in it. You can see all the Magic the Gathering stuff that I've made for D&D here on the DMsGuild in a bundle. And here's a bunch of other books that I've made as well that you can explore. They're all 100% free previews, so you can read them cover to cover, just like you can with this playtest document. And once we finish all the playtesting and finalize the design for all the classes, subclasses, magic items, and monster options, as well as backgrounds and stuff, we'll rebuild this into another PDF that we'll publish on DMsGuild and add to this bundle here. So if you think this stuff is cool, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. I am here 9 times per week, Monday through Friday in the morning. I do artwork on Mondays and Thursday nights now, like this. We do game design, and then typically earlier on Thursday, but I was playing some Shadow Dark on Wally DM's channel a little while ago, so I'm showing up a couple hours later than I normally would, but I'm happy to be here, and I survived my Shadow Dark experience, so cheers to me. And then in the mornings, Monday through Friday, I do artwork for the next book that we publish, whatever book that is, the next one that's in the rack. And right now, it's the Eberron adventure that we've been writing, Crystals in Mabar. So you can watch the artwork production. You can hang out here with me while I do game design. My Discord channel is open to anybody. Go check that out. And if you want to support me on Patreon, God bless you. So we're going to scroll down. So we finished completely finished the Barbarian, completely finished the Fighter, and by completely I mean we've completed all the class feature conversions to utilize a mana system instead of whatever it is that fighters don't really have a resource, barbarians don't really have a resource. We gave them resources so that they have a mana language for the color mana system. There's like in Magic the Gathering, the 5 color mana system of white, blue, black, red, green. Those 5 colors are also like emotional states or philosophy systems. So you can choose your character's like alignment, philosophy, worldview based on what colors resonate with the character that you make, and then you can use those colors to power your character's abilities. And there's obviously more nuance to it than that if you wish, but it can be just that simple. Like if I'm a Rakdos character, then when I cast my spells, whatever spells I would cast, I would express them as like black and red magic effects. If I wanted to dive down the rabbit hole in variant rules, I could take the spell points that I use for my mana and devote each one to a specific color. So if I run out of black magic, if I run out of black mana, any spell that requires black magic to cast, I would have to get more black mana to cast it. So that's a really fun, interesting way to curb how easy it is for you to cast spells. If you think that the 5e magic system is too easy, then by applying the color magic system to it, you can, like, I'm a Selesnya character, so I'm going to use white and green magic. So I'm going to have white and green mana in my mana pool, and if I want to cast a spell that's not white or green, I can't cast it unless I prepare it specifically with the color that I need, which we have rules for, or research it during my downtime to be able to cast the spells in the colors that I want, as opposed to the colors that it's naturally devoted to. So that's the quick skinny of it. So martial characters, they gain mana in a pool as well to spend on powers that are similar to like psionic dice or like martial arts die. You spend the points to do the martial thing that you do. And we have a laundry list of 190 some odd powers. 90 of them, 170 some odd powers, 90 of them require mana. The other 60 some are like cantrip type effects that don't require mana but do need to be prepared. So you have a list of prepared spells, you have a list of prepared powers, you have your mana pool, and from those you can prepare whatever kind of powers you want to distinguish your character and create a unique action loop and resolution system for your characters. Like your fighter could be completely different mechanically and with it, how it contributes to the party than somebody else's fighter. So with 170 some odd powers, you also get with each subclass a list of bonus powers, just like a spellcaster would get a list of bonus spells. So the resources that the characters are getting they're all like in these martial characters are all basically utilizing a half casting system to be able to channel maneuvers. And the half casters like the ranger, the paladin, the artificer, as well as the warlock, can swap between, do I want to prepare spells, or you can prepare both spells and powers out of your list of prepared spells. Any number of them could be powers instead of spells. So if you want to have a really gishy character, like your artificer could be really gishy, your paladin, your ranger, your warlock, you could blend spell casting and channeling powers in combat to change how your character is expressed. And of course, we have mechanics that lean into this mana system for all the martial characters going along with it, which we are currently going through the process of updating. Because we've been playtesting this stuff for a year, and every few months I come through and I read through the document like this and make sure that all the powers are accurate and make sure that all the class features still makes sense with what we've discovered is balanced and fun to use for our characters in the playtesting. So we've gotten through all of the subclasses from 2024 that like graduated the 2024 Player's Handbook, but there's also a stack of subclasses that didn't make the cut, which are the Forsaken Monk traditions. So we've gotten through Way of the Ascended Dragon. We got through Way of the Astral Self. And I believe we're on Drunken Master right now. Yep. So we're on Drunken Master, and then we'll play around with 4 elements, etc., etc., etc. So I'm going to work on this for maybe, it's almost 8 o'clock here in Seattle. So I'll probably just be on for an hour tonight. And then I'm going to be back at lunchtime tomorrow. It's 8 here in Seattle now. I'll be on at 2:30 Seattle time tomorrow, which is Pacific Standard Time, which is -8 UTC. So that would be 10:30 p.m. UTC tomorrow. that'll be back on continuing this effort. So we've gotten through the Ascended Dragon. We've gotten we've gotten through the Awakened Self. Now we're on to the Drunken Master. So I'm going to drop down here and get this document prepped here, and let's peel this open. Here is the Way of the Drunken Monk, Drunken Master, right here, and we'll see if we need to make reference to this or not. But it's here if we need it. We also have a stack of bonus powers that the Drunken Master gets. So we want to drop here into the same document that you guys are looking at. We're going to go to the top of the page to access reference to all of the powers that can be learned, so we can verify that the bonus powers that the Drunken Master get are still legitimate. Savage Attacker is a feat, that's still valid. Defensive Duelist is a feat, that's also still valid. Strange Metabolism, I believe, is still a second rank sustained power. Sustained powers, you can place on Strange Metabolism. You can place this on yourself. It doesn't require concentration, and you can stack them. Your half-casting progression, first rank, first level, 5th level, 9th level, 13th level, 14th, 17th level. That's your 5 ranks or levels of spells that half-casters can use. And so you can have a number of sustained powers active at the same time. The mana needed to pay for those powers is you can combine them up to the max rank of power that you can channel. So at 17th level, you can channel 5 ranks of power, which means you can have a combination of any number of auras that total 5 mana to channel. And you spend the mana, you turn them on. Like Strange Metabolism is a second rank sustained power, and what it does is while sustaining this power, you're immune to poison damage and the poison condition. Drunken Master is resistant or immune to becoming drunk and poisoned as a result of it, right? In addition, as a bonus action, you can make an unarmed attack that deals 1 power die plus your strength or dexterity modifier of poison damage, and the creature is poisoned until it succeeds a Constitution saving throw at the end of each of its turns. So you apply the poison condition on creatures that you attack, and you get this ability at 5th level. Now you could pick it up at 5th level on your own if you want, but the Drunken Master gets it for free. Crouching Stance, also appropriate for the Drunken Master's unpredictable ground fighting style. Crouching Stance, it's a first rank power, so you turn it on, it stays on, and when you sustain this power, you gain the following abilities. You can crawl and stand from prone without requiring additional movement if your movement hasn't been reduced to 0. Attack rolls you make while you're prone don't have disadvantage, and you gain advantage on dexterity stealth checks while you're prone. So it's a neat little kit that encourages you to lay on the ground or crawl around the ground or be prone. Moving target is a reaction, first rank. Let's go check it. I think it's still first rank. Moving target is second rank. We changed that a couple months ago, and I hadn't caught up. Moving target, it's 2 mana as the reaction. So whenever the triggering condition happens, you can spend the mana to do the thing. So for moving target, it costs 2 mana to use, and as a reaction to when a creature you can see moves into or within the reach of your melee weapon, you can make a melee attack. You can make a weapon attack even if the target is using the disengage action, rolling 1 power die per mana channeled, adding the highest result to the attack roll. So this can be used even with ranged weapons. If they're within, when you see a creature that's within reach of your melee weapon, you can make a weapon attack. So it's a melee weapon specifically. Even if the target is using the disengage action. There you go. So basically it's kind of like Sentinel. If they move in your area, you can whack them. And if you have Sentinel, let's see, as a reaction to, no, it's not an opportunity attack. It's just a reaction, but still good. It's, you get near, you get hurt. Tripping Strike, first rank, you deal damage, and they have to make a saving throw, a really high saving throw, or they get tripped. Fickle Fate is a second rank reaction. Let's look at, is that still a, does that even still exist? Hold on, I don't even think Fickle Fate, does it even exist? Hold on. Fate Spinner. One's Own Luck is a first rank reaction. Let's go check that out. No, that doesn't, wow, that doesn't exist either. Hold on. Boy, we've had a lot of updates. Cool. Okay, great. So let's make change. We can drop these. Delusional Strike, is that still second rank? Hold on. Distracting Strike, Dazing Strike, Intimidating, Provoking, Staggering Strike. Let's go with fourth rank access. Let's go with Dazing Strike. STR3 is a third rank strike. Your weapon can deal psychic damage, increases damage by 1 power die per mana channeled. The target can make a Constitution saving throw. If it fails, it loses reactions. This should be an intelligence saving throw. All these modifiers, dazing, goading, hold on. Yeah, goading, dazing, intelligence. I can hear myself, I'm too loud. Hold on, let me drop my volume. There, that should be better now. Dazing, and then provoking and staggering. I can still hear myself. It's going to be okay. Staggering, and then we have knockout is Constitution saving throw. That's right, Constitution saving throw for staggering. Provoking is intelligence. Intimidating is wisdom. Restraining, poisoning, con. Dazing strike is, it is a Constitution modifier. A Constitution modifier, a Constitution save. There. And then we go down to shocking, no. Martial, no. Grapple, goading, intelligence. Goading should be an intelligence check. Yep. And that's first rank. So Dazing Strike is strike rank 2. Yeah. And then we have, let's see, Delusional Strike doesn't exist anymore. That is now Staggering Strike. Thank you. Dazing Strike, Staggering Strike is three. Repositioning Strike is a good one. Repositioning Strike, you deal 1 power die of damage per mana channeled, and you can move 5 feet per mana channeled. This movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. Repositioning Strike. That's a really good one. STR2. No, STR1. There. Okay, so those bonus powers on top of anything else that you want. And as you can notice, we don't really care about what order you get them, just if they're appropriate enough for you to use. So, bonus proficiencies, you gain skill feats. Okay, I need to do a mic check there real quick because I felt like I lost my mic. There. Bonus proficiencies, you gain the skilled feat, gaining proficiency in performance, brewing supplies, and a skilled tool or magic instrument of your choice. Drunken technique. So basically when you get bonus proficiencies, we just give you the skilled feat. and just dictate how you can use the skilled feat because you gain it. But it's effectively a feat. And you can gain the skilled feat multiple times, picking up additional skills if you want to, but that's going to come out of your 4, 8, 12, 16 budget. Drunken technique. When you use Flurry of Blows, you gain the benefit of the disengage action, and your walking speed increases by 10 feet until you end the current turn. So that's your Flurry of Blows. You get 2 attacks as a bonus action. You gain the benefit of disengage as part of that bonus action, and your speed increases with that with any movement that you take. Tipsy Sway, 6th level. Leap to your feet when you're prone. You can stand up by spending only 5 feet of movement, which is overridden by the crouching crouching stance. So actually, redirect attack. When a creature misses you with a melee attack, you can spend 1 mana as a reaction to cause that attack to hit one creature of your choice other than the attacker that you can see within 5 feet of you. When a creature misses you. Okay, what can we do with leap to your feet? Let's see. Because we resolved the prone thing, so that's a non-issue. What do we want to do with this? Leap to your feet. You can stand up by spending only 5 feet of movement. Yeah, that's completely neutralized by the power. When you're prone, I'm thinking instead of getting up from being prone, let's change it to light on your feet. When you make a saving throw to avoid being grappled or knocked prone, you can roll with advantage. That's better. Because you gain a power that makes this feature irrelevant. So this feature needs to be unique and powerful unto itself. And giving yourself advantage on this, always having advantage on that stuff, that's really good. Drunkard's Luck. Starting at 11th level, you always seem to get a lucky bounce at the right moment. When you make an ability check or attack roll, or a saving throw and have disadvantage on the roll, you can spend 1 point of mana to cancel the disadvantage for that roll. A drunken barbarian actually sounds pretty nice there, because you can neutralize the disadvantage that would prevent you from gaining advantage. Same thing with the rogue. So Drunkard's Luck mixing in with another type of character would actually be really good for multiclassing. Intoxicating Frenzy. While sustaining flurry of attacks, you can make up to 3 attacks instead of 2. That's something you just automatically get. Now, while sustaining flurry of attacks, you can move 5 feet with each attack. This movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. While sustaining flurry of attacks. Now, while... what was it? Using? Hold on. Whenever you use Flurry of Blows, right, the language changed. So whenever you use Flurry of Blows, is that, hold on, is that the name of it? I feel like I'm crazy. Hold on. attack, unarmed defense. There we go. Flurry of blows. Thank you. When you can expend 1 mana as a bonus action and make 2 attacks with a monk weapon. There you go. So Flurry of Blows. We aren't crazy. Whenever you use Flurry of Blows, we can already take the disengage action and your walking speed increases by 10 feet. Whenever you use Flurry of Blows, you can move. You can move. You can also take the dash action as part of the bonus action. There. So you already get disengage and plus 10 feet. Now we can take the dash action on top of it. That's not bad. It's a lot of action economy. So that's cool. Good to go. So, Way of the Four Elements. When you choose the subclass at level 3 and at the levels above, you gain bonus powers. The always prepared power list. For deeper dives, see Elemental Key on DMsGuild. So we published a book on DMsGuild, and you can see it if you're interested. If you click on the MTG bundle, and then scroll down here to the Elemental Key book. You click on that. This is specifically a half-casting format for the Way of the Four Elements. From the 2014 rules that offers, you can either use color mana of red, blue, or green, but you could also use the 4 elements, which is air, earth, fire, and water. So those are the 2 paradigm systems that this type of character could use. And it's the foundation of the elemental mana system that isn't published yet, but we're working on. So give us a little bit of time. It's going to follow the same format as the color magic system that we use. So here we see Elemental Key, which is air, earth, fire, water. And then color mana, which is blue, red, and green, URG. So here's a list of 50 power or 50 spells or cantrips that you can prepare as a monk as though you were a half caster. So essentially, well, now with the new system is a total of 23 powers that you can have, but your monk here, hold on, where'd you go? There you go. At 3rd level, you can add a list of spells and powers that you can prepare. Spells that require concentration cannot be spells that require concentration. Follow the rules of tapping mana to maintain concentration, detailed in the book above, period. In addition, choose 2 spells to add to your list without preparing them. In addition, you gain the Elemental Attunement cantrip for free, and you can choose 2 spells to add to your list without preparing them. Add 2 more for free at 5th level, 9th level, 13th level, and 17th level. You can change these choices when you gain a level. So here's our list of 50 spells and cantrips that you could prepare. Again, you get elemental attunement for free. But like you could pick up Burning Hands, Create Water, Earth Tremors, Fanes of the Fire Snake, which was already defined in the player's handbook originally. Fog Cloud, just a bunch of spells that are super fucking useful. We'll probably need to update this. Well, we'll either update this list or we'll just reintroduce these spells with the 2024. No, actually, I think virtually all of these are in here, except that they drop like Water Whip and Fanes of the Fire Snake, stuff like that. They dropped from the 2024 because they didn't adopt Way of the Four Elements. They made the Elementalist instead. So, but this still stands. These are all great spells, like picking up Fireball. Who wouldn't want to freaking pick up Fireball? Who wouldn't want to pick up Blur? You know, these are all super useful spells, and on a monk, they're pretty damn good. So that's the option. Here's a short list of stuff from the original Player's Handbook list, but we, again, upgraded this entire list here that you can make use of. works exactly the same as the power system that we have inside of here, like as a ranger or a paladin. Originally, our plan was to take all of the subclasses from the monk and convert all of them into a half-casting chassis like this. So like Way of the Sun Soul, for instance, would be white and red mana. Way of the Shadow would be black and blue mana. Way of the Kinsei would be, I think it was white and black. That was long. That was the Monk of Mercy was white and black. Long Death, Mercy, whichever one. Mercy, I think. Anyway, it could heal and harm. Oh, that was Long Death. Yeah, it could heal and harm you. So it had white and black mana. The Drunken Master, I think, was red and green. The Kinsei was white and blue. That's right. So we had all these options that we were building out. But now that they've converted to 2024, I never got around to publishing any of those additional books before 2024 hit. This one I published a couple years ago. But the dream is still there and expanded. And we were also looking at alternate smite mechanics for the Paladin already before 2024 dropped. So a lot of the ideas that are in this book are ideas that we've been tinkering with on the side for a number of years at this point, but never finished and came through as an actual book. So now we're consolidating all that stuff and codifying it, utilizing the 2024 rules and bonding it to a mana system that reflects the color mana spell point rules that we have on DMsGuild already. So all 14 classes can use the same mana system to be able to more fluidly multi-class, make more realistic Gish characters, and to give fighters, barbarians, rogues, monks the same amount of options and flexibility that the casters have with prepared powers and mana to spend them per day as you please, and the ability to change them when you finish a long rest. So a lot of variety there. So that system's kind of built in like that. And then beyond that, elemental damage. You can choose to deal basic elemental damage when you hit with a melee weapon attack. Damage type you can choose at will include, so whenever you hit, you can change the damage type: acid, cold, fire, lightning, thunder. Elemental grace, when you finish a short or long rest, you can choose one type of elemental damage. Excuse me, yawn. One type of elemental damage from acid, cold, fire, lightning, thunder. You are resistant to that damage type, and you can change which type of damage you are resistant to between rests. Between rests during your turn by spending 2 mana, no action required. Irresistible elements, 11. When you finish a short or long rest, you can choose one type of elemental damage from acid, cold, fire, or lightning and thunder. Fire, comma, lightning or thunder. Creatures that are resistant to the chosen damage type are not resistant to that damage type, and creatures that are immune to the chosen damage type take half damage. Take half damage instead. You can change which type of damage is irresistible as a bonus action during your turn by spending 3 mana. And then 17th level C elemental key. So what? Page 5 and 6. So we have the avatar. We have the elemental avatar. Starting at 17th level, as an action, you can assume an elemental avatar form of your choice from the options below, taking on an appearance of your appearance you choose. For example, you might be wreathed in flames, or your skin might take on a rock-like texture. You can remain in this form for up to 1 minute, and as an action, you can change which form you assume during your turn on later rounds. You can use this feature once, regaining it when you finish a long rest. See elemental key, page 5 and 6. You can regain use of this feature when you by expending 5 mana. No action required. So otherwise, this document's free. It's already uploaded. You can check it out. I'm not getting into, but it's the Avatar of Flame, Ice, Stone, and Wind. These are the what were they called? They were 6th level spells. It's not Envoy. It's something of flame, or like it's not Avatar of Flame, but it was similar to that. Anyway, these were spells. They didn't get picked up in 2024, so we may just have to go ahead and convert all this stuff. Durations and concentration, we can skip past that. So okay, great. So that's the elemental avatar. We don't really have much to say about it other than that. It's pretty straightforward. So let's drop this out of the way and go back here. Here is Way of the Kinsei. Bonus hours, step, which is a mastery. I believe that step still exists, but let's verify. Yeah, when you hit a target, you can you can move 5 feet without provoking opportunity attacks. There you go. That's what step does. And then we have Dire Impact. Dire Impact is gone, so we need to replace that. We're going to replace that with Martial Strikes. No, get out of here. That's Strike rank 1. Martial Strike, like if you would normally have a power die of D6, a martial die makes it a D8. So it increases the size of your power die when you deal strike damage by 1 die size up to a maximum of 12. And it has no other power other than increasing the damage, but you can use a mastery with it. Normally, if you're using a weapon mastery, you can't use it at the same time as you can use a strike power. They get in each other's way. Kind of like how you can't cast a cantrip with the same magic action that you would cast a spell. It's you're already casting something, you can't use a cantrip. The same sense, you're already using a weapon mastery, you can't also use a strike power at the same time. So you're doing one or the other. The strike power, basically every strike power, every mastery has a strike power version of it, and but the strike power deals more damage and has more effect than like the topple mastery. You make a saving throw, right? Well, with the martial power of tripping strike, you deal extra damage and you topple somebody, but you also add the highest die roll on your damage dice. The highest die roll you add to your DC, so it's more likely they're going to get knocked down. So it's amplified, it deals more damage, and has more effect than what a mastery would do. So a mastery is basically just weapon damage, and you can trigger the same for free. So it's kind of like the difference between a cantrip and like Disintegrate. Excuse me. Feint still exists, I believe. I think it's a reaction now, though. Hold on. Feint, yeah. First rank reaction. And Feint is, as a reaction to when you miss an attack roll, you can roll again, potentially turning the miss into a hit. Yeah, not bad. Gifted Artisan. That doesn't exist anymore. We have to replace that. Parry, first rank reaction. No longer exists. Let's see. Another creature attack, you can redirect the attack to hit them instead. Roll with the hit. Saving Grace. Feint. Yeah, Feint's there. Parry does not exist. Let's use Precise Attack instead, which is Exploit 1, right? EXP 2. Precise Attack reads, when you're making an attack against a target with less than full cover, you can ignore the benefits of cover and roll a number of power dice equal to the amount of mana spent this way, adding the highest result to your attack. Adding the highest roll to the result to your attack result. Let's see. Rush attack, empowered effort, cooperative effort, bonus attack. We get that for free as a monk already. Rush attack. You can challenge the exploit as part of a move action when you move at least 10 feet during your turn. The first attack you make before your next turn is rolled. Nah, that's not feeling good. Evasive footwork. I don't think that exists anymore either. Holy Hannah, it's been a while since I've visited this document. Okay, so get rid of evasive footwork and get rid of parry. Extended attack. I think that's now sustained power. Extended reach. Thank you. Yeah. Extended reach, which is sustained power 1. Opportunist, that still works. Moving target, that still works. Frenzied attack still works. Frenzied attack gives you an extra attack when you take the attack action. Crouching stance, kick, cliff runner, close quarter combat, acrobatic. Blind sense, adaptive resistance, empowered ability. You have advantage when rolling checks and saves. That doesn't feel particularly Kinsei. Ranged assault, no. Sustain, you're not restrained. Deadly presence is good. We'll go with that. Deadly presence. Sustained 2, right? Yeah. Opportunist. Celerity isn't bad. Movement doubles, +2 AC. Advantage on dex saves when you from sources that you can see. And you gain a bonus action you can use to weapon attack, dash, dodge, disengage, or channel a sustained power. That action cannot be sacrificed to generate mana. You gain an additional bonus action to make a weapon attack, dash, dodge, disengage, or you can sacrifice it for 1 point of temporary mana. Normally, so if you normally sacrifice your bonus action, you can gain 1 point at first, 2 points at 9th, and 3 points at 17th. And you have to use that mana before your turn ends, otherwise you've wasted your bonus action. Celerity gives you an extra bonus action, but it eats up 3 ranks, so it's expensive as fuck, but it also generates free mana for you as part of that bonus action. This is actually a really good power to pick up. Celerity. But it's expensive. Yep, that's all good. Like, you can't use Celerity and Frenzied Attack together. It's too expensive because that's a total of 7 ranks, and you can only, at 17th level, channel up to 5. So you can't get them both at the same time. Like, there's some hard caps on what you can do with these things, even though you can combine them together. So, Way of the Kinsei weapons. Any weapon you are proficient with is considered a monk weapon. In addition, you can choose 2 weapons that don't have the heavy property or longbow property to become proficient with them. You can change these weapons whenever you gain a level in monk. Agile parry. While wielding a weapon, a monk weapon, you gain a +2 bonus to your armor class. Kinsei shot. While wielding a ranged weapon, you can use a bonus action to add 1 power die of damage to all attacks you make with a monk weapon until the beginning of your next turn. You can add 1 power die to the attack roll. You make with a monk weapon until the beginning of your next turn. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good with that. Artist in training, you gain the skilled feat. In addition to Kinsei shot and all this other shit, that's not bad. Calligraphy tools and any 2 skills, tools, or languages of your choice. Good. One with the blade. Kinsei magic weapon. You gain 2 weapon damage types of your choice listed in the power section below. Listed in the damage meta powers. Thank you, Timely Timer. 1 basic and 1 advanced type. You can change these types of damage when you gain a new level. 1 basic and 1 advanced. When you finish a long rest. 1 basic and 1 advanced. Death Strike. You can spend 1 mana as an exploit to gain advantage and a power die to your attack roll. Huh. Okay. Well, we already had that as our Kinsei shot. Kinsei shot. While wielding a ranged weapon, you can while using a ranged weapon, the damage die, the power die, is not reduced. There, the monk now has a weapons specialist. So normally when you can use powers and strikes and stuff with ranged weapons, the same as you can with melee weapons. But when it's a ranged attack, you reduce your die by 1 size. So at first level you'd have a D6, but if you're using ranged attacks, it'd only be a D4. And the paladin's bonus damage, the bonus action to smite, that's specifically with a melee weapon, but a paladin otherwise could use strike powers at range. It would just be limited to D4 per mana spent. Like a 9th level paladin that can channel 3rd rank powers and gain 2 points of temporary mana when you sacrifice a bonus action to generate mana. That's a total of 5. That's a total of 5 mana that the paladin could put into a strike power. And at 9th level, you're rolling D8s. You could use a martial power die to roll 5d10 damage at 9th level if you wanted to. There you go, and it would be radiant damage. It's pretty good. And you add 1 die if they're undead or a fiend. So it'd be 6d10 using a martial power die. And you could use a weapon mastery with it. Crazy strong synergy, but it doesn't outpace what 2024 Raw can do when you take 2 levels of Paladin and 18 levels, 9 levels of Sorcerer. That'll take you up to a 5th level spell slot already. That's gonna do 6d8. 6d8 damage. That's 50 damage as opposed. 6d8 is 48 damage, and your paladin, by spending 5 mana, can do 5d10 damage plus another die if it's undead. So 6d10 up to 60 damage, 50 damage against creatures, 60 against undead and fiends, while a Sorcerer 9 Paladin 2 would be able to do 6d8, which would be 48 damage against creatures and 56 damage against undead and fiends. So you have that option. Do I want to stay focused in the Paladin and continue to ramp up? Because by the time you get to the 17th level, it's 5 mana from just throwing mana at something, plus you get 3 mana for free from your bonus action. So when you use a bonus action for a Divine Smite and using a Martial Power, normally at 17th level you'd roll a d10 power die. So if you're using Martial Strike with it, it would become a d12. So you would be dealing 8d12 or an extra die of damage if it's a fiend or undead. So that would be 72 or... No, 8. Yeah, no, wait. 8 times 12, that's 92. Total potential 92 normal creatures or 104 against undead and fiends. And a 9th level sorcerer spending a 9th level spell slot at 17th level would be able to do 80 damage, 10d8. So 10d8. So 80 damage against creatures and 88 damage against undead or fiends. So 88 from the sorcerer 18, paladin 2, using the D&D 24 rules raw as intended. And then with this power system, it'd go to 92 or 104. So the straight class fighter, straight class paladin is dealing not significantly more, but enough more damage to be notable if you're rolling perfectly. So otherwise, it's pretty much the same without having to worry about multi-classing. With this system, if you go paladin 2, sorcerer 18, your smites suck because you're only first rank. At second level, you haven't gained more than first rank of power, and you can't generate more than 1 point because there is no spell if you're using a martial power system. We get rid of all the divine smite spells, all the smite spells that are gone, and replace them with the divine smite feature and these strike powers instead. So that way, a paladin 2, sorcerer 18 is going to have like 80, 90 mana. But yeah, literally have like 92 mana. And then 92 mana from the paladin and for the sorcerer. And but since it's only first rank as a paladin, it wouldn't be able to, if it spends its bonus action, would not be able to do more than 2d8 extra damage or 3d8 if it's undead or a fiend. So your decision to leave paladin is limiting how powerful your smites can become. And that's an intentional barrier that you're drawing to prevent spellcasters from just constantly eating your lunch. The Eldritch Smite ability, that's also been significantly curved. It doesn't outperform strike spells, the strike powers that we have in this book. So if you want to have Eldritch Smite, instead of it being a spell slot that you spend an amount of mana up to 5 at 17th level as a half caster, even though you still have your full caster progression of 1 to 5 at 9th level, and then 11th through 20th level, you gain levels 6 plus, like a Warlock normally does, but you could decide to use your invocations to learn powers, and you can learn those at the half casting progression. So at 5th level, you can have a second rank power. So your Eldritch Smite progresses at the half casting scale, just like all the other martials do. So the Warlock is not better at smiting than the Paladin is, nor is the Soradin. For instance, Paladin is the absolute best at smiting. And if you want to be good at strikes in general, either go Warlock, Pact of the Blade, or like Eldritch Smite, or just one of the martial classes, Barbarian. Everything but a full caster, basically. Okay, that's cool. Artisan Training, Kensei Shot, that makes sense. Death Strike, 1 point of mana as an exploit, you gain advantage and add a power die to your attack roll. Sharpen the Blade, 11. Your Kensei weapon gains a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls. Gains a magical +3 bonus to attack rolls. This feature has no effect on magic weapons that already have a bonus to attack and damage rolls. This feature replaces the bonus attack of a magic weapon. Let's see. This feature replaces the bonuses the bonus to attack and damage rolls if the weapon is magical. Unerring accuracy. So basically just a flat +3 bonus. That's really good. We've seen how good just a flat +3 bonus can be when you can pump out 5 attacks per round. It's an extra 15 damage. It actually adds up pretty quickly if you're hitting things. Unerring accuracy. If you miss with an attack roll using a monk weapon on your turn, you can re-roll it. You can use this feature only once on each of your turns. Okay. Hold on. Let's do this instead. You can, when you channel the precise attack, you can channel the precise attack exploit hold on. As a first rank power. And if you miss with an attack roll, when attacking with a monk weapon, and if you miss with the attack, and if you miss with the attack roll, you can re-roll it. And, there we go, and once per turn, if you miss with an attack roll, you can re-roll it. There we go. So normally, precise attack is second rank. You can channel the precise attack exploit as a first rank power instead of second rank, and you gain the efficient power feat to generate 1 point of mana when you do. Moreover, you can channel into second rank when you attack with a monk weapon. There we go. And you gain the efficient power feat to generate 4 precise attack to generate 1 point of mana when you do. Moreover, once per turn, if you miss with an attack roll, you can reroll it. So precise attack is normally 2 mana. So when you channel 2 mana, you roll 2 power dice and keep the better result and add it to your attack roll, and you can ignore full cover. You can ignore any cover as long as it's not full. With this ability, we reduce the cost from 2 to 1, so it only costs 1 mana, but the efficient power feat is such that when you channel a power, if you've used an efficient power feat and you're using that power that's been made efficient, using the power, channeling the power generates 1 point of mana for you for free. So if it's a first rank power, effectively if you learn the power and then you also learn the power again by expending a feat on it, you can reduce the amount of mana you have to spend on your own to utilize the power. So like exploits don't require actual actions, they modify action economy on their own, or they're just part of, like, say, a die roll. So like when you make a precise attack, you don't actually have to declare any action economy other than I'm making an attack, and normally I would spend 2 mana to ignore cover and roll 2 extra dice and add the best power die result to my D20 test. But with unerring accuracy, I reduce the cost of 1 mana, and then when I choose to use it, it automatically generates that point of mana for me. I could put more mana into it, up to 5 at 17th level, but the first point is paid for free. So if I don't want to put more than just 1 point into it, I can just do that forever. It doesn't cost anything. So we have to be really careful about what we give efficient power to, because it basically allows you to spam it forever. So we had to build it very precisely and limit what types of powers could get access to it. It's actually pretty easy. It's just we had to go through the testing to see what actually makes sense. Kind of like we used to allow you to sacrifice your movement to generate mana, but that just leads to people standing still. And if they're already in a position that they like, they're just generating free mana that they could then convert into basically extra attacks each round with basically no loss of action economy, because they weren't planning on moving anyway. So that's broken. But that also resolves Way of the Kensei. Nice job. So we still have Long Death. So Long Death, Sun Soul. Oh my God, that's it? It's 9 o'clock. Tell you what, I'm going to stop here. It's been a short session, but I'm going to stop here. When we come back for lunch tomorrow, we'll resolve Long Death. We'll resolve Way of the Sun Soul. And then we can get into the Paladin. So we can look over and make sure everything in the Paladin is built properly. And then we can get in, so we can walk through how Paladin Smite works and all that stuff. It's super fun and cool. And then we can get into to the Paladin Oaths on Monday night to make sure that they're all accurate. So we had the 4 basics, and then we have the Forsaken, which is Conquest, Redemption, Crown, Watchers, Oathbreaker. That's 5. So there's 5 Forsaken. So it'll probably take us through Thursday next week for us to finish the Paladin, which means we'll get the start in probably on Friday to the Ranger, which means, so Friday next week, Ranger, which means done by probably Tuesday, a week after this Tuesday, so like 2 weeks from now, we'll be finishing up the Ranger and starting in on the Rogue. And maybe we'll finish the Rogue by 2 weeks from tomorrow. We'll finish the Rogue, and all the stuff for the full casters is listed further below. Artificer is caught up, Warlock is caught up. So 2 weeks, this will be completely done. All of our updates, and then we're going to start building Strixhaven rules for playing Mage Tower as a combat PvP scenario. If people want to use these martial powers to build specific characters to compete against each other, a fun way to do that is through the game Mage Tower, which is basically kind of like street rugby. It's a 3v3. It's like a 3-on-3 like PvP match, 3v3, playing basically rugby, trying to throw a ball through a hoop, and yeah. So the ball is treated both as a weapon, an ally, and an enemy for affecting if you are for what, like how you can affect it. So like you can pick it up and throw it like a weapon, You could also teleport it like an ally, perhaps. You could banish it like an enemy so that the ball's off the field and people can't. Well, actually, that would technically put it out of bounds because it's left the battlefield. So that'd be out of bounds to reset it. But if you wanted to reset something, you could banish it. That's true. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to kick out of here for today. I hope you guys have a great night. I'm going to be back tomorrow morning to continue working on the Happy Tree Karnath, Woods of Karnath for Eberron. It's a painting that we're building for the adventure that we're going to be publishing on DMsGuild. And thanks a lot for checking this stuff out. I really appreciate you guys. I will, I'll see everybody on the other side. Thanks a lot.